What is going on, everyone? Steve O Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And Tuesday, this was not on the schedule for me to want to talk about today on Tuesday, but some big news came across my computer yesterday with the announcement of Gears of War Reloaded coming to the PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox Series X, like across the board. But the big thing was that it is coming to PlayStation 5. Now, I know this is nothing new with Xbox games coming to PlayStation yet because I believe Sea of Thieves, like you can play that on there now, and also the Indiana Jones game. I don't know if that was always meant to be an exclusive or if it was a timed exclusive. But to me, Gears of War is a big one. That is a Microsoft franchise staple. To see it cross the lines and go over to a PlayStation console, I think is just huge news. Now, I know that it seems weird these days. Even PlayStation owners, I think it's really weird to run into someone who hasn't owned at least a 360 and a PS3 by now and played 360 games, or if they're just loyal to one console. So I'm sure someone who's owned a PlayStation 5 now has already played Gears of War, at least in some form. But it will be interesting to see how it does on PlayStation. And it just feels like, could things be coming to an end for Microsoft in the console market? Are they even going to be releasing a console for the next generation? It's always something that's been rumored about, and people have said, like, Microsoft should just kind of bow out now and just start focusing on games and putting them out on PC and giving them over to PlayStation and Nintendo and stuff. And maybe with the Switch too, that'll hold enough power to carry some of these games as well. But I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out, guys. I just know it's some pretty big news to see a big first party hit like that come to PlayStation. So it just made my mind ponder, like, what could be the next one to fall. And I just snatched a couple games off the shelf real quick. Two like wish list games, which would be awesome to see, with turn-based RPGs kind of making a comeback with Clair Obscur, like bringing them to the forefront again. Maybe down in the depths, these can be dug up and moved on over as well. But I mean, you never know. And it's two games that I really love. I know Blue Dragon catches a lot of hate sometimes, but I love that game. And then Lost Odyssey is one that I put about 10 hours into it, but I never finished it. But from what I played, I really enjoyed. And this will get conquered and completed, possibly this year. So looking forward to that. Unless we get some type of surprise announcement and it's coming to PS5 or something, some type of remaster in a couple years. But the other obvious ones that came to my head were obviously the Fable franchise and the Halo franchise. Could those make their way to the PlayStation 5? And I actually think the Halo, like the Master Chief Collection, could probably sell pretty well for them on a PlayStation 5 if they wanted to bring that on over. And with the new Fable game coming out, is it going to be an exclusive anymore? It seems like maybe the doors are creaking open a little bit, where maybe it'll be a timed exclusive for some Xbox stuff, but could it find its way over to the PlayStation 5 as well? So just really interesting that that happened. And, it's kind of bittersweet too. I kind of like there being multiple choices for consoles out there. But if you look at my, like, PlayStation, I mean, compared to my, like, Xbox collection right now, I don't know if you can see it from way over here, but that little Xbox One collection is pretty tiny over there. So I don't get too many Xbox Ones. I don't have a Series X. I play all those on PC through Game Pass. I'm going to be buying Game Pass here as soon as Doom the Dark Ages comes out. I'm going to buy Game Pass, play that through their service. I'm going to play Oblivion remastered using the service. And I mean, if I'm a hardcore gamer and they don't get any copies of Clair Obscur in my GameStop again this week, because I missed out on the last copy by about 15 minutes walking in the door the other day, I'm going to play that on there too, see if I can grind them all out in a month. And normally I'll do that. I'll pay for the Game Pass, play the game like a Doom Dark Ages that's coming out, and then when it gets real cheap, I buy it used to add physical to the collection. So the Game Passes can be a pretty sweet deal once in a while. If you pay that like 10 to 15 bucks for a month and hammer out some games, it can be well worth the money. So it's just gonna be interesting to see what happens. Can stuff like It's just gonna be amazing to see what could be possible now with a barrier like Gears of War being like kicked in and making the crossover to PlayStation. Like I said, it's gonna be bittersweet because man, Xbox, I initially, when I bought my PS2 from working with my uncle, with my own hard earned money during the summertime, had my PS2 for a while. Then I ended up trading that for an original Xbox just so I could play Halo 2 online. Everyone was talking about it, saying, you got to come on and play with us. So I fell in love with Halo and Halo 2 at that time, just nightly sessions online, grinding out the ranked. It was incredible. I loved it. And then I would dabble into some Fable and stuff like that too, but it was mainly just for Halo. And then eventually, when the next generation of consoles got announced, it was Xbox 360 all day for me. And again, that kind of happened by accident because I wanted to get a Nintendo Wii when that was coming out. But when I stood in line and waited for it at GameStop, they only had like 7 of them in there. And I was like 8 or 9. I was like one of the next people who would have got one. Or sorry, they only had like 4. And I was 7 or 8 in line and I was not able to get one. So just out of anger, I bought an Xbox 360 and like fell in love with it. Just the games, Gears of War, playing through that co-op with my roommate at the time was just what an incredible experience. Loved it. Then Halo 3, of course, having a blast grinding the ranks in that. I just loved my 360, and for the longest time, it held the title for me as like the best controller in the business. Right now, I'd probably give that to the PS5 controller. Just love that thing, but still, 360 controller was goated. So it would be sad to see like Microsoft bow out of the console market just because of all the love that I had for them back then, especially on the 360. 360 was big for me. Really enjoyed that, and I think a lot of consumers did too. A lot of people love the 360. But man, the next consoles after that, they just kind of it started going a little bit downhill. I wouldn't say just because their console quality was bad, but it was the game library just wasn't there, wasn't strong enough personally for people like me to want to go out and get a system on launch day or day one. And even to this day, like there will be no Xbox Series X in my house ever just because I can play all that stuff on the PC. So it'll be interesting to see where Microsoft takes this. I hope they still at least produce games, but even then, what big are they really producing games wise these days? It seems like something like their Game Pass is just a great feature to have. I know there were rumors back in the day about maybe that possibly going over on the Nintendo Switch console sometime, like just because Nintendo and Microsoft are trying to work together, but who knows? Like it seems like anything's possible right now with Gears going over there. So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting future indeed for Microsoft to see where they go. And let me hear some games you guys probably wish would get the port on over to some PlayStation or maybe Nintendo consoles. And if you haven't watched my previous video yet, I figured I'd go ahead and do this all week. I had my graded Pokemon cards come back yesterday, and I revealed the grades on them yesterday. And I wanted to give one away to you guys, to the community here. So if anyone likes Pokemon and you're interested in wanting this Flareon V, this full art, go ahead and just leave a comment. And only my subscribers, so only for people who are subscribed here. And hopefully some of my loyal ones who have been here from the beginning. I know your names. I hope to see you guys leave some comments below because I really want you guys to get a chance to get at this card. So every video I post this week, I'll give you guys an opportunity to put your name in. And then at the end of the week, during the weekend, I will pick a winner and try to get in touch with you. So leave a comment below. Let me know, what games are you hoping could possibly make the jump from a Microsoft system to the other ones? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.